Welcome to our penultimate art project of the school year. We're gonna be drawing Andy Warhols Cat named Sam, and we're gonna read a story about him. You need your watercolors, water, paper towel, Sharpie, and the 9 by 12 white paper. If you have more than one, you can use both. Let's begin. Storytelling time. Today I'm going to share with you this book, which tells this story about the art we're going to work on today, which is the famous print of the cat, Andy Warhol's cat named Sam. Andy Warhol was an American artist. He had a huge impact in the art world in the 50s. He made big art of pop art and became very famous for his repetitive prints, his huge print of a Campbell's soup, chicken soup, and of course also the Marilyn Monroe painting that is very famous. So this book was written by his nephew, James Warhola, and it's a very intimate story from his childhood, what he remembers from his visits to Andy Warhol's home. So let's read along. Uncle Andy's cats. Look at this, is some of the cats, and this is the one we're going to be drawing today. Uncle Andy's Cats, written and illustrated by James Warhola. Uncle Andy said it all started with a little blue pussycat named Hester. She was just a little kitty when I got her from a fabulous movie star named Gloria. Little Hester just loved Uncle Andy's house. It was tall and skinny and perfect for dashing up and down stairs and hiding among the antiques. The only time Hester was still was when she was staring at Grandma's Baba's Nimit bird, Echo. On our visit to Uncle Andy's, we would look and look, but still couldn't find little Hester. Little Hester grew and grew and grew and became a big Hester. Uncle Andy and Baba thought Hester was lonely. That's when they decided to get Sam. It was love at first sight. Uncle Andy enjoyed Sam and Hester's company when he painted late at night in his studio. And when it was bedtime, the cat's favorite spot was Uncle Andy's wig drawer. Andy Warhol loved to wear this white wig, and he had a whole drawer of them. On one visit, there were kittens, lots and lots of kittens. Uncle Andy said, "It's so marvelous. Hester is now a mommy." Baba said, "They all look like their papa, so let's name each Sam." The little Sams loved their tall, skinny house too. That's the basement, kitchen, living room, the studio, bedrooms, the attic, and more art stuff. Holy smoke! The only time we ever saw all the Sams was when Baba called them for their favorite meal, oatmeal and liver. Uncle Andy said that the Sams liked us best when we were sleeping, and I think Uncle Andy did too. We always loved snooping around at Uncle Andy's, and one day we got another surprise. Hester and Sam were a mommy and a daddy again. The kittens look all just like their daddy, so they were also named Sam, and that made for a whole lot of Sams. Holy macaroni. Uncle Andy was sometimes interrupted when a herd of Sams would stampede through the studio, and the neighbors were interrupted when Sams would sneak up to the roof. The Sams loved to rumble among my uncle's soup boxes. At the end of the long day, they found that sleeping in Uncle Andy's room was very comfortable. Now Boba and Echo had a little bit too much company. "Andy, there are just too many Sams," Boba told him, but Uncle Andy did not know what to do. "We brought 3 Sams home with us, but that didn't work out too well when they wouldn't come down from the roof. Holy cat!" Finally, Uncle Sam had a plan. Uncle Andy and Boba drew and painted the most marvelous portraits of Hester and Sams. After many days of working, the art was finally ready to be sent to the printer. Uncle Andy and Boba each created a fabulous book. The books were a huge hit, and Sams became famous overnight. Everybody wanted a Sam. They came from uptown and downtown to get one. In no time, all things were just about back to normal, and that made Uncle Andy and Boba very, very pleased. As it turned out, Hester and Sam were just the right amount of cats for their tall, skinny house. Holy moly, look at all the little mouses right there. The end. Now, let's make our own Sam. So we're gonna draw just with Sharpie, but you might want to have a second turn, just like look at mine. I decided to start all over again, but make sure you finish your entire drawing before making that decision. Don't give up. We're gonna start drawing the head of the cat. So an upward curvy line for the forehead. Now we're gonna draw the sides of the head and the cheeks, just like that. We're gonna draw a little happy smile for the chin and the kitty nose. From the nose, I'm gonna make the sides of the nose and the eye and the eyes. And now the 2 pointy ears. Now this Sam is cuddling up and we can see his body. So let's draw the back. Another curvy line right there. Now simultaneously, we're gonna draw one leg on the left, one leg on the right. See how my lines are always kind of bubbly and curvy? Now I changed the direction of my curvy line and now I'm gonna close it. It's almost like if it's a whole cloud around the head. Now I'm gonna draw Sam's tail. And his toes. So those are all the lines you need for the body of Sam. We're gonna start adding details like the cat's eyes. Very realistic cat's eyes. In the next step, after you finish with your details, we're just gonna create texture with our Sharpie marker. So I'm gonna outline everything again, but this time I'm gonna be moving my marker up and down, breaking up that straight line, giving it the illusion of fur and also a little bit of shading. So just have fun with this part, and if you want to try again, you can always grab the second piece of paper and give it another shot. But as you can see, I am not being careful here. I'm just rubbing my Sharpie quite quickly, moving fast and looking at places where it looks too stiff, just breaking up those even lines. I want them to be kind of shaky and irregular, just like they are in the original Andy Warhol's art. And when we're done with that, we'll begin watercoloring. Once I make sure I have breaking up all those lines and I created a lot of fur and texture, and I'm happy with my drawing, I wrote Sam. I signed the art just like Andy Warhol did. I used cursive and I wrote Sam, but you might choose not to add Sam's name and add your own. That's up to you. So all that it's left is to paint our Sams. You can choose any color you want. I'm gonna go with green, and I'm gonna try to get tons of different values and hints of green. So I'm gonna mix my yellow with blue, green, and yellow, blue, and green. You can choose to do your Sam any color you like. Have fun with your watercoloring. That's a wrap for our 7th project of school year. I will see you on Friday on our Zoom class where we talk more about Andy Warhol and do more painting together, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.